You just have to trust the process and continue to find shortcuts over loopholes. And here in a nutshell, I'm going to show you the flaws of Gematria and why Gematria is a maze and why astrology is a map. So you have a map with it all drawn apart, and you have a maze that you don't know the way out. And if you're in the way out, if you're not in the way out, then I'm just thinking about, oh, totally, you're lost or whatnot. And I think that's what they're referring to with the Gematria and saying what happened to the saints here, even though everything lined up. And it just shows why it's a huge flaw, Zach, to do Gematria, because it does lead you into a maze and a trap, because it's Miami that equals 45, it's New Orleans that equals 45, or that it's New England that equals 45, or not only New England equal 45, but also it is Bears that had Gematria 45. So they're all these different teams. I mean, it just made it. You have to decide between a bunch of teams, and that's why Gematria is a maze, and it's because Lamar also equals 45, and so you were left confused, and you're left with a, even though it's a wide array of choices, even though the majority of these teams were playoff teams, that it just it just leads you into a trap, and that's really what. Well, you're a little douche, anyways, and I just caught Liverpool win the league, and I have the right zodiac for the Champions League, and I have the right one for 2022 with the World Cup. Yeah, I have the right idea with the Lakers and the three-peat beginning of the right year. Elizabeth Warren, the Ox, being inaugurated in the Ox year. So you're just a little douche, man, and I'm going to remove you because that's what you are. And it is what it is, because now I'm not always perfect, and I'm just going to be unassuming with the process of astrology. And that's where you Jackson, get Jackson being an Ox. No negative comments. You just have to wipe that away. You have to keep going. You don't want to feel too much anger and too much tension while you do this. So Jackson is a rat, actually. In 2020 is rat year, because in 1997 the rat year ended on February the 6th of 1997, and it is Jackson's birthday. That is January the 7th of 1997. What's interesting about that, and Gary's pick this year, is that Gary's the astrologer, and Zachary Hubbard's the gematria guy. And Zachary Hubbard's talking all this trash about Gary, and Gary doesn't have a system that really keeps you in a maze. And I can show you what I'm referring to in the past. You have to look into the past when you study this code, but the thing is that I'm never going to retire, and I'm going to show why I'm going to be better at gematria than this guy, because I've decoded the first female president by gematria, and I could show why the community was completely wrong about 2016. That can be a whole other discussion. And so Zachary Hubbard was wrong this year again too, unbelievably. And you lean to all these, I guess with Zach's ways, it's like they're really schizophrenic ways with Lincoln bombings or whatever to Super Bowls. And that's really not the way. You just have to pay attention to the plot and just what is happening in the league. And that is a new generation of quarterbacks. And that is John Harbaugh's 131st win in the Super Bowl. I mean, I had only one to pick Warriors to fail to win the three-peat. Because I had Rockets at the start of the year, so I didn't pick the Warriors at the start of the year. The Lakers were the sixth. The Lakers were the sixth team. I need to just do more astrology with the NFL here. The gematria stuff is not garbage. It's interesting when you look at the scripting, when you see all these different teams and they all make it to the same playoffs involving Miami. So just a lot of narrow minds on here. But what I'm saying is that it's not going to be the most reliable way of decoding the games. That gematria can be number two, but gematria really also is a Kabbalic code in that it reveals truth in the universe. Greatest numerologist, Pythagorean gematria equals 131. In the name of Gary the Numbers Guy, there's Gary Grinberg. Yes, because don't forget, Lamar Jackson's the rat, Murray is the ox. Black brother quarterbacks are the rising trend. Kingsbury up against his former quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are not making it to the Super Bowl this year. The Chiefs will make it 51 years later. And let's talk about the Ravens being 3 for 3 in the Super Bowl on the 33rd day of the year. We will break it out. You just have to figure why the Baltimore won in the 100th season. Come on, Eagles. Go, Eagles. Gary Grinberg has too much of under 31, so he is the astrologer. Gary Grinberg, numerologist, and astrologer. This guy's the best in the game. He really is the best in the game. Now, the NFC, I'm going to have to go through some zodiacs here, and I can potentially see San Francisco in the Super Bowl. I can see San Francisco. They like those Super Bowl rematches, so I hope they don't really throw it in front of our faces this time. They put the Niners and the Ravens. The Green Bay Packers, though, that is a pretty interesting proposition. The Chiefs, though, are not going to be winning. The Chiefs could be making it 51 years later from Super Bowl IV. Chiefs won Super Bowl IV, and then 51 years later, Super Bowl 55, right? Over at Tampa, Gematria, 51. So Mahomes going to make it next year. Now, what I was going back to saying is that Gary the Numbers guys that go in, even through Gematria, it reveals truth in the meaning of this universe. That numbers make sense of our reality, and it really shows just how the Matrix is run, because Gary Grinberg is under 31, and the greatest numerologist of all time equals under 31. And this guy's the astrologer, and this guy is not the Gematria guy, and this is not the guy that shamed me, because Zachary Hubbard shamed me when he had the Washington Nationals winning the World Series that year. So Zachary Hubbard, he is a little meanie weenie, and this guy's a little hypocrite himself. But I could really care about that. I just show you how classy he really is. I don't need to. You're too narrow-minded. I already called Liverpool win the league. What's going to happen when you let us do that? You guys are haters. Some of you guys are just really big haters. I am open-minded about this stuff. I see where Gematria, where it shows truth, and I see where the maze has ended, and I see where the map is. And I think I have a roadmap ahead to the next game. But I'm just going to play around with some zodiacs here. Carson Wentz, 27 years old, born on a date numerology of 27. But then it's Wilson that equals 54, and so that complicates it. Russell Wilson is 54. And that just complicates things even more. You just have to look at the away record. The away record for the Seahawks. Or just who the teams would play next. I'm going with the Eagles because Carson Wentz is playing for win number 11 in the next game. It is a big trap. I want to see what Green Bay equals. Green Bay 41, Baltimore 41. We have something with that, but what about the zodiac of Coach Matt LaFleur? LaFleur. The Floors, born in the year of the goat. I think. Aha. Okay. We have it. The Packers and the 49ers. It's official. It's the Packers 49ers NFC Championship game. My perfect run is going to begin here right now. Where the Minnesota Vikings going to play at, the 49ers going to beat them. Then I think that the Packers are going to defeat Philadelphia. I think the Packers going to defeat Philadelphia here. Hopefully not the Seattle Seahawks. I think now that we're not going to see the Niners and the Seahawks, that we can be assured that the Cardinal fans are going to be happy if the Seahawks are going to lose. It was really looking like we'd see the 49ers and the Seahawks, and I wouldn't mind watching that actually because I respect the rivalries of the division. Packers will be, it is the battle for number 8, for Lamar Jackson, number 8. A part 2 on that. That's really, we're going to show why this is completely amazing all the way. Dude, the Packers are not going to win the Super Bowl. You guys are going to be trolled hard if the Packers don't win the Super Bowl. If the Packers lose before conference title week, then we're going to troll y'all really hard. Because you can't even use astrology now to know that the Packers are not going to win the Super Bowl this year. That's like step number 2 with all this. But yeah, you're the numbers guy that go do things this way and supplement astrology with Gematria. You're the numbers guy to go revealed by the Kabbalah. Gematria is still an organic code in this universe. You need to be open-minded, have an open perspective, and don't be a narrow-minded bigot. Say no to bigotry and have an open-minded perspective on things, everybody. That is the key. The haters, I'm too narrow-minded on the inside. They're going to be wrong this year. I'm going to call Super Bowl 54. I'm going to get it with astrology the first time around, and I'm going to be perfect for the rest of the year. I already called Liverpool win the league, and the Lakers win the championship. Bring it on, haters.